Top of the morning to all you folks out there. Your friendly neighborhood old soldier coming at you again from Robeson County, North Carolina, where the temperature has truly taken a dip this morning. It's 41 degrees outside where I'm according to my truck thermometer. And tomorrow they're actually calling for a starting tonight, freeze warning. So the old soldier gets off work, he's got to go and insulate a chicken coop. Or re-insulate it, I ought to say. Plug up the heat lamp, got to do some preparations in the RV so the pipes in there don't freeze and lock and bust. And matter of really just turn on a heater in there to keep the pipes warm, put it on the drip. Whole 9 yards. But anyway, folks, we're getting to that time of season. Going to be outside, watch out for those cold weather injuries, chilblains, frostbite, that whole 9 yards, hypothermia. That's a big one, because folks, it don't have to get down to about 67 degrees to get hypothermia. And let me tell you something, hypothermia is deadly. Frostbite can be too if it gets gangrenous. Anyways, for you, Brother Kyle. The other thing, too, still continue to drink plenty of water in cold weather. Most people have a tendency, because it's cold, they don't get as thirsty, but they're still burning moisture, water out of their body. And they're not putting it back in as fast as, say, during hot weather. That's a big mistake. You still need to consume water. Maybe not as much as at the same rate during warmer weather or hotter weather, but you still need to consume water and you need to hydrate. If you're starting to pee and it's yellow, you're well past beyond normal hydration, okay? So monitor yourself if you're out in this weather and having to do some work. Alright, enough for this winter season's safety brief. Moving right along. A lot of crazy things going on around this world, folks. I know, I'm probably preaching to the choir for the most part here. But we've got continuous attacks on our Second Amendment. We've got citizens divided amongst one another over race, religion, ethnicity, socio-economic status, you name it. Folks, it's all being done by design. There are multiple agendas that we're fighting up against. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't believe China's not out to take over the United States, you're sadly mistaken. I'm just telling you the God's honest truth. If you don't think China is not out to take over the United States of America, you're sadly mistaken. They are the last of the big communist countries in the world, and their economy is, in a sense, thriving. Well, of course it is, because they're loaning us money that we're paying hand over fist in interest to pay back. And the worst part about it, they oppose us at everything that we stand up for. Of course. And that brings me back to a few weeks ago when the governor of Arkansas, I can't remember her name to save my life right now, but it's Mike Huckabee's daughter, signed a bill that basically told certain Chinese entities that had bought property and facilities within her state that sell or have it forcibly taken from them by the state of Arkansas. Basically, Arkansas is no longer going to let the Chinese government buy property within the confines of Arkansas. I thought kudos to her. Now, the rest of the United States will follow suit and do the same. So that's another reason, that's another way they're going to get the foothold in, because two things goes on with that. They bring in employees from mainland China. these employees are actually agents of the Chinese government. Well, so how do you know? Well, I don't know. I'm not in China when them people come over to see where they're working, but again, I may not be the brightest light in light bright, but I damn sure ain't the dimmest bulb. And what do? They come over and they steal industrial secrets. That's what they come after when they come over and start working at the facilities here. Okay? Make no bones about it. They're seeing what makes American industry tick so that when the time comes, they can pull the plug on it. Interrupt it, destroy it, manipulate it, take it over, whatever the case may be. That's what they're going to do. And that's not counting the number of bad actors that are coming across the southern border out of Mexico from all over the god freaking world. Coming across in the hundreds and the thousands every day. Oh, but wait a minute. Cookie Kamala went down there and said there wasn't a problem. Yet she lives behind a wall at her residence in Washington, D.C. She has armed security everywhere she goes so that nobody tries to hurt, maim, mutilate, or kill her. Yeah. What do you think about them cookies, folks? Oh, forgive me, I didn't sleep well last night. What do y'all think about them cookies, folks? I think she needs to be arrested and locked up. Keith thrown away. Her and Hillary. Put her and Hillary in the same room. See who comes out alive. I wonder if Cookie Kamala would wind up Clinton herself or it'd be the other way around. And again, no, I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there. That's a bit nasty to think about that. Long story short, both them two broads need to be locked up and put away. Anyway, folks. Go yawning again. Need to keep an eye on what's going on around you. See who's invested in what and find out why. If you can. Some of these people coming across probably are in the need for a new start. I get it. A lot of them are coming across because they're just waiting on a signal, a message, a phone call, whatever the case may be, to go and do bad things to a lot of people. And I'm going to transition to the main mass shooter. Why? Because that's what I want to do. My channel, I can do what I want. I want to transition to that right quick to show the epidemic failure of our system, especially the mental health system. This guy had been an Army reservist, one. Okay. And apparently the Army Reserves, from what I'm hearing, let the state and the county and all the other appropriate people know that this guy needed to be instituted. Now, the Army Reserve is a federal organization. Right? So they reached out to state and local authorities, from what I understand, and told them, hey, this guy is mentally unstable. Y'all need to go put him in an institute. And why? Well, why didn't the Army do it? Because the Army Reserve, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. Okay? So if he's on active duty for training or active duty orders, then yeah, the Army can do it. But I'm going to tell you really the truth of the matter. What the Army's going to do is they're going to cut sling load just as fast as they can. That's what they normally do when people got mental issues. I hate to say it, but there's the truth of the matter. When I was on active duty, we put out more people due to mental issues than we actually got them help. Just to tell you the truth. unless they're an officer. And I'm not hating, but I'm just, the officers got different treatment than enlisted personnel when it came to mental health issues. Now, has that changed? I don't know. I've been out for almost 15 years. But from my son and son-in-law tell me, not much has changed. Soldier has mental issues, you send him for some counseling. Soldier doesn't get better, automatically they chapter him out. What's chapter mean? It refers to the chapter of the regulations under separation. So an abbreviated way to say, we're kicking you out under chapter so-and-so provisions. Okay. Did you know you can get kicked out of the military for indebtedness? Running up too much debt. Yeah. You can get kicked out of the military for wetting the bed, for sleepwalking. Right? A lot of things you can get kicked out of the military for. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a dishonorable bad conduct discharge. A lot of times, it's a general discharge under medical reasons. That way they can still get help from the VA, those kinds of things. You show up late work too many times in the military, you can get kicked out. Yeah. My point being is that the Army Reserve, they're not going to want to try and go through any effort to get this person any kind of help other than what they've already done. It's easier for them to cut them loose and let the state and the local community worry about it, and they can say, well, look, when we had them, we did this and this and this with them. Service member refused to go get any further help, so we were forced/compelled to put them out of service. Okay. Right? The Army Reserve's probably patting themselves on the back. Look at us. We told the state and the local government what this guy's problem was. We told them, and they didn't do nothing about it. Basically they're playing a CTA game right now. Anybody know what the CTA game is? Glad you asked, 'cause I'm gonna tell you. It's called Cover Their Ass. Why? Because one of the mass shooters a while back had been in the Air Force and had got put out of the Air Force for a pattern of misconduct and misbehavior and violent behavior. And the Air Force had no obligation to tell the civilian world about this. It's just a flaw in the system. Well, the Army Reserve wasn't going to go down like a chump, so now they're protecting themselves. Part of it too is because recruiting and retention is at an all-time low across all the branches. Why? Because nobody wants to go to war with some kid that, hey, my big toe hurts because today I think I have a penis, tomorrow I want a vagina. Yeah, I said it. Get over it. But that's the kind of mentality some of these young people we're dealing with. Now, I don't have all the answers on how to fix it, but you got kids today that don't know how to be adults. And when I say kids, I'm talking about people between the ages of 18 and 35 that don't know how to adult, that don't know how to be a grown individual, that don't know how to step up, pull their boots on, pull their pants up, and get to work. It's always somebody else's fault. Somebody else is responsible. That's not my fault. I didn't do it. I can't control what happened. Well, nobody gave me. Okay. Now, I'm not saying anything against anybody that needs some help. Everybody needs help every now and again. Trust me, I've done things in my life I'm ashamed of. And then I've also let my pride get in the way of seeking help until it's absolutely, positively necessary. Okay? That's the other part. People want, these younger people today want everybody else to solve their problems for them. Paraphrase what was said in the Bible once. You feed a man a fish, you have fed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. And that has so many meanings on so many levels. It really does. But I get sick of watching these people going around. Well, the government's not. The aid I get from the government ain't enough. Well, how about going down the street and get a job? Old soldier, you can't tell them to do that because not all jobs pay the same. No, you're absolutely right. Flipping burgers at McDonald's or making hash at the Waffle House or the Huddle House, no, it's not going to make you a millionaire. I don't care how you shake a stick at it. I don't care what you say. It ain't going to make you a millionaire. But everybody's got to start somewhere. That's the point I'm getting at. You got these kids coming out of high school being told that they should be able to get a job making $15, $20 an hour, sticking a bag of cold fries into a deep fryer and then putting them in a carton or a sleeve and thinking they've done a hard day's work. Getting upset because they got to go clean the bathrooms, or they got to clean the lobby, or they got to go clean the dining area of a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Taco Bell. Yet they think they deserve $15 an hour to do that kind of work. Because when they got out of high school, they didn't choose to apply themselves to do something. I don't know what I want to do. Okay, guess what? I'm 54 freaking years old and I still haven't figured out what I want to do when I grow up. But I've had 3 careers. And I guess technically I'm on a 4th with this business venture I'm in. It's not an excuse to not go and try and do something with your life. My uncle once told me, and he was a surveyor, said he didn't really like survey work, but it paid the bills. So yeah, he went and became the best surveyor that he could, because he said every time I put my name on a document, it's a legal and binding document that someone can come back and sue me over if something is off, something is wrong, if a measurement's not done correctly. And for what I charge a person, I better be correct every time. And he said, no, I really don't like surveying, because you're out in the hottest part of the summer and the coldest part of the winter. And it doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, sleeting, fog, or burning, blistering hot. The work had to go and get done. You've got clients that are expecting to get done because they need to get it done so they can go close and get a deed, whatever the case may be. He told me, he says, if everybody did just what they wanted to do because that's what they like doing, he said there'd be a hell of a lot more people on the welfare system. You got people that go to factories to make decent wages, but they don't like working in the factories. They do it because they've got a family to support. Things have got to get done. But sad that generation, that breed of people are starting to die out. And for some reason, a lot of these young people I see on a daily, I don't want to go work here, or I don't want to go work there. I don't want to go work no Campbell soup. Got to work 7 days a week, for 2 weeks straight before getting time off. Okay, well, what are you going to do for a living? I'm not going there. All right, well, they're hiring. I'm not going to go work there. Or down the road at the Smithfield meat plant. I don't want to go pack no meat. I'm not going to pick up no pork. I don't eat pork, so why should I touch it? Son, you better do something that will make you a living. And sadly, I'm looking around some of the public schools where I'm at. Some of these kids can barely read or write, make a comprehensive sentence to save her life. Well, we're there. Let's talk about these guidance counselors pushing these kids to 4-year schools. Okay? Why? What are you pushing them to a 4-year school for if they don't know what they want to get a degree in? You might want to push them to a 2-year trade school or community college where they can get a trade certificate, or at least they can go get a job until they really figure out what they want to do. They've got a job, they put some money away, and when they figure out what they really want to do, then go to that 4-year university. At least to be going with an associate's degree or a technical degree, Then, oh, by the way, you can probably get a decent part-time job while you're still going to school. And you figure out what you want to major in. I want you to think long and hard about that, folks. The trades are still hurting for people right now. You're going to electrical work, becoming an electrician, and you apply yourself. I think you're making $25, $30, $35 an hour, depending on where you're at, within 5 years. Maybe more. Now, some places will tell you go to your local trade union and apply. I'm not a big fan of trade unions anymore. But if that's what it takes in your area, then go for it. The only reason, folks, I don't care for unions. They've cost me work in the past, cost me jobs. Okay? And personally, I don't think I need to pay an organization in order to work. That's just how I feel. If you feel otherwise, so be it. My personal opinion is the day of the unions have long passed. My personal opinion. My personal experiences have led me to that belief. Okay? And I'll just leave it at that. But trade schools, hell, even some of these companies are willing to hire kids right out of high school and apprentice them right off the bat if they're willing to learn. Okay? If they're willing to learn. And they can start off at $17, $18 an hour. Old soldier, that's okay, yeah, you're going to have to put in the work to make it work. But $17, $18 an hour right out of high school is not nothing to sneeze at. Sit there like a bump on a log, mister. Come on. I tried to be nice to this guy. Gave you the right of way, jack wagon. 4-way stop. He actually had the right of way. I flashed him. He sit there like a bump on a log. Anyway. But some of these places people talk about, I don't want to do that kind of work. Well, guess what? I didn't want to get yelled at in basic training, but it happened. I didn't want to go to Germany, but I had to. I didn't care about my last tour in Iraq, but I had to go, so I went. I've had to do things I didn't like doing in order to make a living, folks. And I've had to humble myself to people. Not that I want to, but in order to obtain a job, to get work, provide for my family. Sometimes you got to do the crappy things in life to get by. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't go out and try, you're never going to know. And two, just because you don't want to go do something somewhere. I had to tell my own son that one time. I told him, I said, son, you better crap or get off the pot. I said, I'll be honest, he was managing one of them stores that sell them vape thingamabobs. Pardon the French, I call them robot dicks. You see all the kids walking around sucking on them. Don't mean to be vulgar, but there you have it. That's what I think of him. He was managing one of them stores. And I told him, I said, son, they're not paying you enough for your worth, for all the crap you tell me you put up with. And I said, too, this is not a career. This is not a career. Unless you plan to stay in retail. And if you plan to stay in retail, you still better take your butt to college and get a business management degree. At least an associate's. If you want to make any decent money at it. And even then, if you get on with some big retail chain, you're still going to start at the bottom. It'll be years before you get to where you're making decent money. finally went and got his nursing certificate, or his certified nursing assistant certificate, credentials. And now where he's working at, they're paying him to go get his level 2 done. He starts this week, and then hopefully in the fall he hopes to get into nursing school. Anyway, folks, I have yammered enough on here. Let me get off of here. I'm at work, so I'm going to get ready to go inside and get set up. Y'all stay safe, stay vigilant. Be careful out there. Until then, my friends, friendly neighborhood old soldier out.